What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? Today we are doing a video that I am honestly so surprised I've never done before, but it is the top 10 best stance cars for less than $5,000. So cars that you can stance. Now, obviously this is completely up to your own personal opinions. These are 100% up to looks. It's a completely like just what cars I think look the best stanced for under 5K. That's pretty much it. So you absolutely could change this around to make it your own. Don't take it too seriously. On top of that, they are stance cars, so it's not like performance really matters here. It's literally just like what car people think looks cool. Okay, that's it. Whatever car somebody wants to ruin. That's literally it, guys. So don't get too offended. But either way, let's get right into the video with number 10. Coming in 10th place is going to the Mercedes W124. You can get any version of the W124 if you can find it under 5K, and it'll be absolutely amazing. And this, my friends, of course, is a old luxury car that still to this day has more luxury in it than something like a freaking Camry does, which is kind of crazy. And it costs obviously a lot less than a new Camry. So they come with a 2-liter inline 4, making 116 horsepower, and they are rear-wheel drive. And they're actually kind of reliable. A lot of people say that the Mercedes are unreliable, and they definitely are some Mercedes out there that are unreliable. But the W124 inline 4, nope, that ain't it. So if you're looking for a reliable one, there you go. It also has that very VIP style look to it, and it can be fun to drive as well since it is rear-wheel drive in a luxury Mercedes. So like, you can just, and these come with a manual transmission. This is before Mercedes became ridiculous and stopped putting manual transmissions in their cars. Coming in at the number 9 spot, this is going to a super underrated car. This car never gets any love, and I'm surprised that it's even under 5K because it doesn't deserve that, okay? It is the Mini Cooper S. There's just something so odd about seeing a Mini Cooper slammed on the ground that it just works. It shouldn't work. I know, there should be no way that a Mini Cooper looks cool when it's stanced, but it does. It comes with a 1.6-liter supercharged inline 4, making 163 horsepower, and it is front-wheel drive. Like I said before, that makes no sense, but I think that's what makes it so great. It can look very cool, but it's not going to be like the biggest, like most beautiful car out there. It's just going to be like a head turner because nobody's going to believe that it's a Mini Cooper stance on the ground. They're going to be like, what is that? Now, I will say the Mini Cooper S is not the most reliable out there. That is why it's pretty cheap, because not a lot of people want to deal with the reliability issues because it's British. But if you're a stance guy, you probably don't care about reliability anyway. Coming in at the number 8 spot is a car that actually hurts me to put it on this list because they're just so much fun to drive. It is the Mazda Miata NA. As we all know, the NA Miata has a perfect 50-50 weight distribution, and that makes it an amazing little track car. If you do buy a Miata and you set it up for like a autocross or time attack or track day, like circuit racing, oh my god, it's a blast. But they come with a 1.8-liter inline 4, making 125 horsepower, and they are rear-wheel drive. Like I said before, they look really good stanced, obviously. That's why it's here at number 8. It looks amazing. They're just really good-looking cars, but it just hurts to see it, man. It's just like, oh, it's just so sad. That little go-kart could have been so much fun, but now it's just stanced. They are super cheap to buy. A lot of people seem to think that the Miata is like, it's 10K nowadays. It is not. It's still under 5K. It's definitely raising in price, but nowhere near like 10K. And everything is just so like high up underneath the car that it loves being lowered. Coming in at the number 7 spot is going to like the typical, just like poster boy for the stance car boys, the Volkswagen Jetta Mark IV. This is the absolute go-to stance car. Every time I see a Mark IV Jetta nowadays, it is on the ground. It is never stock height, and I kind of like it about that. They come with a 1.8-liter turbocharged inline 4, making 180 horsepower, and it is front-wheel drive. It's actually the same motor that they put into GTIs, by the way, so if you want a budget GTI, even though the Mark IV GTI isn't really that expensive anyway, if you want to save even more money, then a Jetta Mark IV is a good one. They just look so good with so little done to it. It's like the definition of a stance car. And for its price, they're actually pretty like reliable and comfortable too. These freaking Volkswagens, don't sleep on the reliability of a Volkswagen, boys, okay? Yes, it's German, but not all German cars are unreliable. Coming in at number 6, however, is going to the Lexus IS300. This is another car that kind of hurts to see it stance onto the ground because it can just be such a fun time to drive. But it just looks too good. The IS300, they do it to themselves. They really do, because they build a car that's beautiful, and then they expect people not to make it look even more beautiful, and it sucks, okay? They come with a 3-liter inline 6, making 225 horsepower, and it is rear-wheel drive. It looks so incredibly good with such simple stance. I think a lot of people feel like they need to go overboard with an IS300 to make it look like stand out. You do not. Literally just like keep the body relatively stock, lower it, make it the fitment nice and pretty, put some nice wheels on that puppy, and it is good. That's literally all it needs. These IS300s look good from factory. You also can go for like a track style build, and you can make that work too with like a wide body kit, more like aggressive splitters and stuff. And it has a 2JZ under the hood. So if you do buy one of these, don't keep it stock. If you're gonna stance it, that's fine, but don't keep it stock because it's gonna be a fun time. Coming in at the wonderful number 5 spot halfway through this list, it is going to the Infiniti G35 Coupe. This is my car's brother, technically, and it's an absolute gem of a car. And no, okay, not all G35 Coupes are only used for salvage title, takeover, drifting, and slamming into Chevy Equinoxes for no reason, okay? They come with a 3.5 liter V6, making 306 horsepower, and it is rear-wheel drive. That's the VQ, obviously, that comes in the 350Z, so that can make decent power, and it's rear-wheel drive, so it's going to be pretty fun for you. I will say wide-body G35s look absolutely horrible, but otherwise, they are great. They, once again, have that sort of like VIP luxury style to them, so all you really have to do, lower it, make that nice fitment, pop, and you got yourself a nice build. But like I said, I highly recommend not doing a wide body G35. I just think wide body G35s look so ridiculous. Coming in at number 4 is going to another car. There's a lot of cars on this list that hurts me to put it here and tell you guys that you should probably stance these because they're just such good like drivers cars. But it is a BMW 328i E36, obviously. And it is just such a fun car. As we all know, the E36 is commonly used as a little race car nowadays. And it's because it's good. They come with a 2.8 liter inline 6, making 190 horsepower, and it is rear wheel drive. They have such a simple but wonderful look to them. The VIP style doesn't really work that well on an E36 though. I will say that. You kind of have to go for like a little bit more of an aggressive build. However, I do think like wide body E36s look a little bit too goofy. There's like a fine line of what looks good on an E36, I feel like. It's just like right there in the middle between like nothing done to it and too much done to it, if that makes any sense. But they're just such good drivers cars too, so if they do want to buy these for like a race car, that's another great option. They're just a good car all around for under 5K. Coming in at 3rd place, getting the bronze medal for this list, is going to the Acura TL 3rd generation, my good friend, pal, and buddy. This is an absolutely underrated car for sure. You can find a 3rd gen TL for like less than 3K right now. And that's just mind-blowing. I will constantly tell people that this is an amazing first car. So if you're looking for a first car, this is an amazing one, okay? They come with a 3.2 liter V6, making 258 horsepower, and it is front-wheel drive. That's actually pretty decent, especially for a Honda. Like, that's a very decent horsepower number. 260 horsepower from factory. Very good. Now, since it is a V6 Honda, it's not going to be as good for making power, but obviously this is a stance one, okay? And we don't care about power in this video. They are very reliable too. They have tons of new tech on them because they're like a newer car. They're not like for the aggressive race car, wide body kind of guy. They're definitely not like that kind. They're definitely one of the VIP style cars, but if you like the VIP style, then oh my god, it works so well. Coming in at the wonderful 2nd place is yet again another underrated one, and another car that's also a very good first car, actually. This is just wacky. It is a Subaru Forester. Hear me out, okay? I know you're about to be like, this guy just told me to buy a freaking Forester and slam it on the ground. I'm unsubscribing. No, please. These things are ridiculously cool. They come with a 2 liter flat 4, making 165 horsepower, and they are all-wheel drive. Now, yeah, that might not be that fast, but if you're stancing something, then who cares? There is just something so special about slamming an egg on the ground that just, it's not even an egg, actually. It's a box. It's a box on wheels. You slam it on the ground. It's amazing. They are dirt cheap, too. I found a Forester on Facebook Marketplace running and driving for $800 one time with a manual transmission. It's all-wheel drive, so it can be driven year-round. All your homies can ride in it for $800. Now, obviously, it had like 220,000 miles on it, but for $800, dude. It's just like one of those perfect ones where if you're a guy that's like wants to stance it just because it's like going to be like a I don't care kind of build, this is a perfect one for you. But the honorable mention for today, oh, you didn't think there was going to be an honorable mention today? You silly boy. It is the BMW 325i E30. This is such a good option for someone who just wants to make people mad. They come with a 2.5 liter inline 6, making 170 horsepower, and they are rear-wheel drive. They're so easy to make look good, but they're hard to keep looking good since they are an old car and it's going to be pretty expensive. They're not very reliable, and a lot of people in the car community might get mad at you because you're slamming like a classic, retro E30. But God, it works so well. They look so good. Coming in at first place is like the pinnacle of stance right now in 2022, 2023 area. It is the Lexus LS400. It is just the ultimate luxury 90s grandma sedan, okay? And it for some reason, the stance guys love that. It really fits well with the stance boys. So here it is, it's first place. They come with a 4-liter V8 making 270 horsepower, and it is rear-wheel drive. There's just something about like seeing a grandma sedan slammed on the ground that just works. It just does. I've said that a lot today, but it's because it's true. There's a lot of cars that like you wouldn't expect it to look so cool because it looks boring as hell stock, but then it's just like a different beast when you just modify it just a little bit. It's also incredibly reliable too, since it has the 1UZ under it, so there's no worries there. It can be fun as well, but it's kind of a boat, so don't expect to be like going super fast and like turning this thing into a race car. But at the end of the day, there is a reason why everybody slams an LS400. They just work for it. They just are so good at it. They're comfortable to drive, they're dirt cheap to buy, they're still fun to drive if you want them to be fun, and they're still reliable and gonna be cheap to maintain and fix up, and you don't gotta worry about any of that. But ladies and gentlemen, that is the end of today's video of the top 10 plus 1 honorable mentions, so technically 11 of the best cars to stance for under 5K. Now, in case you don't know, I'm not the biggest stance guy. I want to make that clear. So before you're like, what is this guy talking about? He doesn't know anything about stance. That car has like a subframe that's too low or something that I didn't know about and I was wrong. Just leave a nice comment and I'll be sure to give it attention. But if you're just gonna be like a bunghole about the whole thing, then we're fighting. Really quick, guys, in the top of the description is going to be a link to my Grand Theft Auto Online channel. So if you like that kind of content, go over there and check it out. I'd really appreciate it. But either way, guys, thank you so much for watching. Das Vidania. Have a nice night.